Welcome back. Commentary for you. I want to thank my sponsor, Steel Supplements. Link and discount code down the description. You also know I'm a Weeble preferred influencer, which means best promotion they have right now in the pinned comment. So many people this month. I think this might have been the biggest month. All they're doing is clicking the link, open an account, getting free stock. Most people actually haven't deposited, but if you do, even $1, they will give you more free stock. I also want to let you guys know, if you haven't seen, I've had memberships open for a little bit now. Haven't done anything, but that changes this week as I'm going to start a podcast just generally talking about sports, nothing specific, but a lot of people have asked me to go back to podcasting. Obviously, I had a pretty well-known NFL podcast with Rashawn Harris, the East Coast Offense podcast, probably, I would say 8 or 10 years ago. And then within 3 years, the Our MMA Show podcast with Jimmy Smith, that was a top 5 MMA podcast. So I don't want to limit myself just to gaming. I certainly don't want to limit myself just to one sport, but I do want to cover a lot of things with just opinion and how I feel about certain situations. With that said, though, you can sign up and I'll have the first episode this week for you. I did want to talk about this because the gaming community is relatively small, right? Nobody just shows up with a brand new channel all of a sudden out of nowhere. And I did a video about 2 weeks ago where someone had put up a Maximum Football leak and put my name, which they later changed. Initially, the M was not capitalized. Then they went and changed it to make it appear as if I had leaked gameplay. Now, to be honest, many people should know I had a great relationship with the prior developer of Maximum Football, David Winter. He actually hand-programmed a game for me to run so that I could test for him. That probably, again, 5 to 6 years ago. I then worked with him throughout the time frame they were building this game. Never took any penny of compensation, just as I haven't with Access Football, just making the game the best that they can be, not for anything other than to improve my experience and hopefully improve yours. So I was a little taken back when someone would attribute a leak to me, but nevertheless, they did. And then a couple days ago, they went and changed the watermark over it. So now, instead of having my watermark, it's now their watermark, Mr. Crazy Work 1000. And so many of you came to me because this is such a small community and immediately knew by hearing this person talk who they were. Right? Not only the way they spoke, but how they spoke, that it was Matt Allen. Now, Matt Allen was relatively smaller channel in our community, had some issues come up, tried to go through a different conversion, wanted to be like a health channel, then wanted to go and just be like a vlog channel, then got into the point where he was just showcasing Madden beta footage, and that's when EA stepped in and said, your channel's done, so now he's elected to start doing this. Now, many of you know, I will sit here and break down anything, from a game trailer to a game clip, it doesn't matter. I do want to offer to you, though, when you are beta testing a game, or when you, with the show, for example, have the tech test, you are agreeing to a couple of things, right? MLB, the tech test, is actually relatively wide open. They let you come and speak your opinion, but some gaming companies don't want you to do that because they are still kind of in a closed region where they're trying to make the game better before it gets out into the hands of the public. Now, Maximum Football is in a little bit of a strange predicament because the game is going to be free. Right, so anything you may see negatively now probably isn't going to impact you in still downloading the game. However, it can maybe make you think twice about it, or maybe say this isn't worth my time, but I would think for the most part, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't see why, if the game being free wouldn't prevent anyone from spending money just microtransaction-wise out of the box. Why wouldn't someone download the game and just give it a shot? What's stopping any creator, any gamer from just saying, you know what, this is worth the 20, 30-minute download just to throw a number out. I'm going to give this game a shot, see if I like it. And to that point, when people put out gameplay like this before it's ready to be released, it can impact how people view a game. And that's really not fair. Granted, take it with a grain of salt because I've done it myself. But again, with EA Sports, we kind of have an ideology of where they're going with their game. And to be fair with EA, if we see an issue in beta, in alpha, and it's been in the game for 10 years, we can pretty much rest assured it's not coming out of the game when it actually releases. Now, with Maximum Football, this is a whole new dev team, so we really don't know what they're capable of. But what I will say is if they kept what is there, and if you've went and played either the original Maximum Football, if you've played Doug Flutie's Maximum Football, what David Winter built was a relatively strong base of a dynasty mode. What held this game back was not the depth in gameplay, was not the recruiting, was not the actual tiers, was not the actual way everything kind of revolved around college football. It, for most people, was the graphics. The graphics were something that David really struggled with, and he tried every single year not only to get the graphics better, but if you don't remember, he actually went to a local college, actually got motion capture access, and motion captured a ton of animations because he knew that was the biggest thing holding his game back, was that people would look at the game and say, this looks terrible, I'm not going to play it. So to that same point, kind of circling back around to what Matt did, no matter who he's portraying himself as, or no matter who he wants to credit the quote-unquote leak to, the ironic thing is these are things that can actually impact how people view a game. It damages the trust the gaming company has with not only the entire community, but with creators in general, and it makes them think twice about putting their game out when they can get feedback that can help it improve for you. So I really don't understand someone doing this, right? Apart from just, I'm trying to get a channel monetized, I'm trying to get attention, I'm trying to get views. But in the scheme of things, would you rather have all those things, or would you rather have a good football game that you can play, create content with for a full year? For me, it's always been the latter. You know, a lot of people talk about, what would I do if Madden were quote-unquote good? Go back 10 years on my channel when we would do NFL 2K5, All-Pro Football 2K breakdowns, and you would watch a play and there was almost a human element to it. Go look at some of the breakdowns I've done on the show where you watch a play and you can really see, my last one, you can actually see what makes a average player average. You can actually look at it and say, okay, this is how in real life players struggle. Just like you can also look at it and say, hey, in real life, this is what makes players great. And that's what we want in a game. And I will say, for one thing, that is one thing that Maximum Football did kind of struggle with as well. There was routes that were always ran that were beatable. There was players that were always better than the other. The line play needed a lot of work. But from so far what I've seen, yes, some of the issues are still there, but some of the issues are actually improved, and I want to give this gaming company a fair chance, a fair opportunity. Let them release a game, give them 6 months, patch this game, update this game, listen to the community, try to make the game the best it can based on our feedback. But we can't do that if we're sitting here trying to undermine them to get views and attention on our channels. And I will gladly always be the one that directs you to these things, because I know certainly you want to see them. I'm not going to hide it. I'm not going to stray away from it. You can go get whatever opinion you want of me anywhere you want, anytime you want, any place you want. But for the most part, I've been here 15 plus years. I'm pretty fundamentally solid on what I expect in football gaming and the type of person I am. But to that point, unfortunately, we now realize this is not a leak that I had ever done, nor would I ever do it. Why would I ever take footage, leak it to someone else, not use it myself, and then have them put their watermark over my watermark so that they could get, what, more views for themselves? It just simply does not make any sense. Other than that, love to know your thoughts on this. Are you going to be downloading the game even if it's free because you really have nothing to lose but some time and some hard drive space? You know, with that said, I will be back in the week with more commentary.